Greetings and salutations. This is Cage's Kiss, the ultimate Cage cast, where we discuss each of the National Treasure's cinematic masterpieces and his life. We also try to glean whatever kernels of wisdom we can from his character that week. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Mr. Cage, I'm glad you're here. Sit down. Can I get you anything?
No.
Come on, sit down.
I would prefer to stand, sir.
Some things have gone on here that I'm just becoming aware of. I was kept in the dark, as you were, for a very long time. Troubling things.
Yeah.
Now, we have to sort them out, figure out who's responsible for what, and what to do about it. We have to do this very delicately, otherwise people might get the wrong idea.
We have to lie.
Did I say that?
No, you didn't.
You're upset.
I'm upset.
It's understandable. Do you mind if I give you a bit of advice? You know this because you're smart. Never make important decisions while you're upset.
You did, and American soldiers and civilians are dead because of it!
I never ordered any...
No! Don't you play that game with me! You won't dishonor their memories by pretending you had nothing to do with it that you didn't know!
How dare you lecture?
How dare you, sir?
How dare you come in here and bark at me like a junkyard dog? I am the President of the United States.
It gives me no pleasure to do it, sir. As acting Deputy Director of Intelligence, it is my duty to report this matter to the Senate Oversight Committee.
You're not going to do that.
I'm not?
No. You've got yourself a chip in the big game now. You're going to tuck that away. Save it for a later time, when your own ass is on the line. And then you're going to pull it out, and I'm going to cash it in for you, right?
I don't think I have anything more to say to you, sir.
The country can't afford another scandal, Cage. To protect itself, it won't allow another deception. That goes all the way to the top. You'll take the blame. Cutter, Ritter will take some too, but it won't amount to much. Just a slap on the wrist, then $20,000 an hour on the lecture circuit. The rest of the blame will fall on Greer. Oh yeah, you'll take him down with you. You'll destroy his reputation. But that's as far as it will go. The old Potomac two-step, Cage.
I'm sorry, Mr. President. I don't dance.
Meanwhile, in Cage's Kiss...
So there it was, balls deep in this guy's ass.
Oh,
Tell me
hello.
more.
I didn't see you there. Today we're discussing the second film in what Cage calls his Sunshine Trilogy, Guarding Tess, in which he stars alongside the female version of himself, our queen, Shirley MacLaine. Then what the fuck did you just say, Donnie? Bitch, what did you just fucking say?
Dangerous old lady you love.
I think he was saying that Cage is a 7-dimensional being, and so he was able to reincarnate and be in the same scene with his own incarnation, Shirley MacLaine.
Yeah, you see, Cage is 7 different personalities in one, like most people.
Like most people.
He's a level 7. My name is Linda Castro, but you can call me the government cheese.
Yeah, I'm Donnie. You can call me... I don't care. Just fucking here, unpaid intern.
Well, I'm Adrian, and I am the President of the United States.
Get off my plane!
No ticket?
No, just shit tickets. The one this screenplay was written on. How do we get to 1994, Linda?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Adrian.
A DeLorean.
Back in 1994, the director and writer Hugh Wilson teamed up with another writer, PJ Tarakbe, and with a budget of $20 million, this movie ended up grossing about just a little over $27 million.
Modest.
Jeebus.
And so you guys want to talk about this movie, or you want to go back to Clear Presentation?
Well, I've got little goodies here and there, but nothing.
How about we
Nothing
play
too
Breath of the
earth-shattering.
Wild instead?
So I mean, like in an objective sense, it is slightly better than last week's movie,
That is true.
but it's also not as good as the other two movies I watched this week.
What did you watch? Porn.
I watched Frank Henenlotter's Frankenhooker.
Oh, yes. Want a date?
Bill Murray said, if you see one movie this year, see Frankenhooker.
I remember that.
And I also watched Barry J. Gillis's Things, the 1989 Canadian masterpiece made on a budget of about $5.
I was about to
With-
buy it
with
on
Sheryl
Amazon.
Lynn.
No joke. Like it's sitting in my cart.
It'll haunt your dream.
Yeah, I figured though that it was more like a thing you watch with other people.
It really kind of is.
You
So I was
can't
gonna-
just watch it once, though. Otherwise, you'll be left damaged. You need to sort of process it.
Yeah.
Give it another run through.
I was gonna
Kinda
wait
like
till the
Pulp
next
Fiction.
time. Oh yeah, yeah, it's right up there. Yeah, I was actually gonna
Wait a
to
minute.
visit
You
Donnie
mean
to
that one
watch
guy's supposed to be Kaiser Soze? I don't get it.
Anyway, back to this movie. So Nick Cage is playing Dougie Fresh, a Secret Service agent. What was it? The special agent in charge.
Special agent in charge. Yeah,
Sack?
he's Douglas Chesnick.
And he is charged with guarding a cantankerous first lady,
Former First Lady.
former first lady,
widowed
played
former
by
First Lady.
the Queen, Shirley MacLaine.
Cheryl MacLaine.
Charles.
Might I say a little something about Cheryl?
Say a lot about Shirley. I love her.
Oliver.
She was born in 1934. She had her screen debut in 1955 with Alfred Hitchcock's The Trouble with Harry,
Hell yeah,
in
she
which
did.
she pretty much stole the show. She was in a Billy Wilder movie, a Martin and Lewis movie, Terms of Endearment, Being There, and my personal favorite, Two Mules for Sister Sarah, in which she plays a whore nun.
I didn't know she was in Being There.
Yeah, she's in Being There. Yeah,
Damn.
Yeah, she was there.
yeah,
she
she was
was there.
totally there.
And she was totally in the Children's Hour. Love.
That's right. Yeah, Irma
love,
LaDouce.
Yeah.
And she was in Gambit with Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
That's
And of course, there's Steel Magnolias and Terms of Endearment,
Steel
Postcards from the
Vaginas.
Edge. Oh, but yeah, love. And she's a big believer in past lives, UFOs,
Cthulhu.
and very spiritual. Oh, of course, she also had a love affair with two politicians. There was
No way.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No way.
Oh yeah.
She had a baby Ruth too, but go on.
Andrew Peacock, the leader of the Liberal Party of Australia, apparently, as well as Olof Palme, the Swedish Prime Minister.
But did
So
she
she
go
knows
on
how to
a
speak
love
Australian.
quest to prove her love and get married? I think not.
She doesn't need to.
Are you describing the plot of Bolero with Bo Derek?
You know, that's very possible. That was what Nick Cage's quest was all about.
So, yeah, she's amazing. And if you haven't seen The Children's Hour, do it now.
Do it right now.
But,
Or go find a podcast about her.
or start one.
Or start.
No.
She did a fairly extensive career.
Yeah.
And she's still kicking, baby. She's still got like 3 other ones coming up. And apparently she was, she's in a ripoff version of The Little Mermaid. I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, she's amazing and I love her. And in this movie, she plays a former first wife. And apparently she's cantankerous and just a nasty old bitch. And
She is.
yeah, miserable old bitch. And Nick Cage is Dougie Fresh, who's very, very annoyed with her character. And he just wants to get the hell off of her service. But when he keeps trying to get away and she keeps rolling him back in.
Because she keeps wanting to the president, and he gets calls from the president.
Yeah, he was. I think the
God damn it,
happiest I've
Doug!
seen him. Yeah, he was the happiest I've seen him in a long time. When he was offered a Bloody Mary on an airplane, he just started giggling. He was. Really
He practically creamed his jeans over that Bloody Mary.
He did.
He was tasting freedom.
It's like we haven't seen him that happy since he was waving the little American flag in The Boy Who Blew.
That's true. That's very, very true.
Listening to
that
the
innocence.
Calypso music. Oh yeah, and so
Dulcie!
Birdie. Sorry. So, anywho, hijinks ensue. They get to know each other. Yada yada.
Even though they already knew each
Dying of an
other.
inoperable brain tumor. Yada yada.
She's kind of got a brain tumor, yeah. And so
She gets kidnapped. Yada yada.
She's got a limo driver.
Yada yada.
Cage escapes going to prison.
Everybody has some laughs, and then they learn some kind of lesson, and then
Yeah,
it's
the
over.
music helps you to learn that. It lets you know when they're being funny and cantankerous, and then when things get a little serious.
Yeah, fucking Michael Convertino.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Michael Convertino, who scores just a random assortment of fucking notes.
It is. It's kind of like the school auditorium guy that would come to talk to you like he's your friend.
It's like they're
Really
warming
loud,
up.
boisterous.
They're always just warming up, but sometimes they're warming up in a slightly different key.
Are you talking about the guy who would always have to put the chair backwards so he can get on your
Yes,
level?
that's what he would do. He would like get on
Let's
your
rap
side,
with
tell
you,
really
kids.
cool stories and say things like darn and heck, and you're like, oh, he's using big words. And then suddenly he turns it around on you when he takes his chair and turns it around to face you. He's like,
But I'm gonna break it
let's get
down
a
for
little
you here.
serious.
Well, what the hecking darn with Michael Corvino composing the scores to Aspen Extreme, Jungle to Jungle, and Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead
Damn.
with Andy Garcia.
Andy Garcia.
Yeah, and Christopher Walken.
Yeah, and Treat Williams in an interesting turn, although that movie really is a turd in every sense.
It seriously is, more so than Sneakers.
Ta-da!
I'm kind of living for Treat Williams' Twitter game lately. But that's another story. I have to point out the presence of Richard Griffiths, R.I.P. It has Richard motherfucking Griffiths, aka Uncle Monty, in one of my favorite movies with Niall and I, and Uncle Vernon in another one of my faves, Harry Potter.
Is it?
Oh,
pronounced
wait,
with
that's
Niall and I or Nail and I?
That's the same. That's the same.
With your
dude.
mom and I.
With your mama.
He's my favorite uncle.
Are we talking about the fellow who says you just come back to pick up your shit?
Yeah, just coming to pick up shit.
I still prefer the greatest uncle, Uncle Buck.
Uncle Milty.
He
That's
made
a valid
pancakes the size of his stomach.
So our movie got a whole 56% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Critics seem to think that it was Driving Miss Daisy meets In the Line of Fire meets The
Whitewashed
Bodyguard.
Brian Daisy.
And
I have to talk about a sort of disturbing scene.
well, before you get to your
Are you talking
disturbing
about the
scene,
nude scene or the anal scene?
can I mention that the white-haired mustachioed fellow who tells Cage, "You disgust me." That is Dale Dye from Firebirds. The guy who wrote Firebirds.
so.
That was him again. Yeah, he's back.
hate that
You didn't think we'd ever bring up Firebirds again, but there you go. There's a reason to, for some reason.
So you couldn't even watch an old woman. You disgust me.
You couldn't sponge bathe her or nothing. What the heck? You couldn't lay your hands on her spotted flesh.
So what were you going to mention, Linda?
Yeah, you had a thing too.
It had a couple guys from Police Academy.
Yeah, that's because director Hugh Wilson.
Hightower?
Hugh Wilson directed Police Academy, the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
He is from Florida.
Well, they had Tackleberry.
He
Tackleberry,
also
that's it.
actually did one good movie. He did a Whoopi Goldberg movie, Burglar, which I think is underappreciated. He did Dudley Do Right. He did Blast from the Past. He did the fucking First Wives Club. And so he also co-wrote this movie, and he did the voice of the president in all the scenes where Cage is on the phone with the president.
Oh, right.
That's awesome.
Can we try to get along a little better out there in Ohio? Okay, you have a good day, son. God damn it.
God damn.
You'll be guarding the president's dog.
You ripped up some kind of a flower? You got some kind of a sicko thing going on there? You like balling an old woman or something? I don't know.
I have to say, it would be a better movie. I'd enjoy it more if he was balling her.
Yeah.
It is a love story.
That's the story we all deserve. And in fact, when somebody asked Shirley MacLaine about it, she said, when they commented to her about how they could have been a couple, she said, maybe we were in another life.
Yeah, I couldn't help but think about that after watching this and then switching over to Butt Fucking Grandma's 9 and thinking, God, this would have been so wonderful if it was Shirley MacLaine and Nick Cage.
I liked part 9, but I felt it didn't really have that same spirit as they did.
It kind of lost its story after part 4.
Yeah.
It's on a new arc now, you guys. It's broken up into trilogies.
You can't break my ship up once it's sailed.
You know what? I choose to change horses in midstream because sometimes there's story things that we haven't explored yet.
You know, speaking of, this movie did touch a nerve with me, and I did start to cry, and Lucille had to comfort me. Yeah, it's when she said to Cage, if you had free will, you'd be 1,000 miles from here. And I'm just like, bitch, me too. It's like, but here I am watching these fucking movies and talking about them.
We could just outsource your job, Donnie.
I'll outsource you.
You know, it was an emotional roller coaster, and that's probably because PJ Torquevey there also worked on Real Genius, Back to School.
That's my favorite movie of all time.
And
Genius.
Caddyshack 2.
Oh my God. We're just going back to all the old Cageness now.
Caddyshack 2, which had Jackie Mason. Oh, we're back to square one.
Oh my God. We just need Birdie now, and this is all complete.
I'd like to take a moment to mention that this movie had a very busy character actor, Austin Pendleton, playing the driver.
Yes.
Yeah.
Austin Pendleton, who was in What's Up, Doc? For Peter Bogdanovich. He was born in 1940. He worked a lot in the theater. He's also a playwright. His first film role was actually in Richard Lester's Petulia with George C. Scott. He was also in the Muppet movie.
Yes.
And My Cousin Vinny and Short Circuit. He did a lot of television. Yeah, the Great Muppet Gaper.
He
showed up on St. Elsewhere and Law and Order.
The dream that was St. Elsewhere.
St. Elsewhere. Why are there so many songs about assholes? What's on the other side?
What's on the inside?
I double dog dare
Please don't
you
sue
all
us.
to
Please
go
don't
much
sue us.
deeper.
Please don't sue us. Please don't sue us.
Sue us, we have no money.
Speaking of our various right, jokes on them. Speaking of various connections here, this movie has Edward Albert, Tessa's son Barry, who's the son of Eddie Albert, and he was in fucking Galaxy of Terror.
Oh shit!
Also, yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, that was him with that mustache.
Shit.
You know, yeah. And he was the one that Corman promised a sex scene with him and the chick from Happy Days. And Warner Brothers is like, he doesn't ball her at all. I'm so pissed. And Roger Corman's like, so don't worry about it. We're going to put more tits in it.
Yeah, we're going to do a love scene. There will be nipples and areola.
And there was, but it was with a maggot.
Tess?
Of course.
Get into the anal scene.
Well, no, in Guarding Tess, Tess Carlisle is an aging first lady or space captain, who has PTSD, but she still pilots the ship, for the mysterious Mr. Hand.
Oh, Captain, my
Captain.
Yeah, and Cage is along, and he's like, I don't know if I trust that cook guy. Oh, well, let's try to enter that space pyramid. She's like, wait a minute, I'm having a flashback to the Hesperus. I'm going to fire off the space lasers while we're within the atmosphere. Guarding Tess, yeah.
Call us, Hollywood. We've got ideas.
By James Cameron.
Edward Albert was also in Power Rangers Time Force,
Oof.
Yeah, he was.
Shoot Fighter, and the 1998 Man in the Iron Mask.
And then he died.
Oh.
And then he died. That's right. That was all. Yeah. Oh God. Okay. That's it for credits. Yeah.
So, one scene I found deeply disturbing was this scene where it's just a very throwaway scene, but they show Uncle Vernon eating like Fruit Loops out of the box. Out of like one of those like small boxes. And I'm convinced that this influenced Jordan Peele's creepy Fruit Loop scene in Get Out. Because he's just eating them without the milk, and it's fucking weird, man. It's fucking weird.
Voodoo Donuts puts Fruit Loops on donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what up
Maybe
with
it could
that?
have helped save when they did Twilight Zone.
They just needed Uncle Vernon. Now,
Yes.
I really enjoyed this movie simply because, like, well, you know, she's my queen, but also I feel like Shirley MacLaine is the only other person who could really truly match his cagey energy.
She does shout back at him. Yeah.
You'll like it when we get to our face off, I think.
And I say, he's gone! Well, I say, he stays!
As the president says, this woman is a national treasure.
Yeah.
Wait, that conflicts with our statement here.
Does not
Nick Cage
compute.
is our national treasure. You have proclaimed this.
Yeah, and she's the female national treasure.
Well, there can only be one in the
can't-
Highlander universe, so
No.
how can there be two national treasures?
No, because
I'm
they couldn't have
I
a
cannot
love
die.
scene because they would have morphed into the same person. Donnie, you knew this.
There's no
Oh my god, are you
time
saying
for
that they
us.
actually were using the
There's
fly
no
teleportation
place
technology?
Yes.
So she actually was teleported and Nick Cage split in half from her being?
This is shortly after her Jeff Goldblum incarnation.
My god.
Must die.
See, he's the one that's going to get you sued.
Yeah, without a doubt. In which case, my name is Adrian Smith.
And I'm Inigo Montoya. Yeah.
And I'm an outsourced cat.
Yeah.
So a lot of quiet grandma laughs in this one.
Yeah.
And a lot of 1994, like with the excessive political correctness, like how Mrs. Carlisle hates cigarette smoking and guns.
Yeah.
John Grisham's guarding Tess.
And apparently, when they were filming this, she was just months shy of being 60 years old, while Cage was only 30.
Oh, May December romance. And then Shirley MacLaine slaps Cage and says, "Wait a minute!
I'm on top.
Take me to the Quiggly Wiggly."
Someone in here is smoking.
Smoking. So I'd just like to say,
south of my border.
so this movie has a lot of cute little jokes, but it kind of actually undoes a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like there's the part where the two agents are talking about boxing, and then they bring up Shirley MacLaine boxing Nancy Reagan. And I think it would have been a fine laugh if they just dropped it after the guy said, I don't know, in their prime.
Yeah.
You know, like that, but instead they go into this whole thing. It's like, no, yeah, he throws all these jabs to the face. She's unrelenting. But then Mrs. Carlisle, she's a folder, she's a dancer. Queersville, man.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
you
you say
Will
you had
Ferrell's
a joke,
comedy,
but then
It's
you
like
just
after a while it gets old.
you
Well,
just
you wouldn't get the line without it. You wouldn't get the line, bam, Nancy's on Queer Street.
no, and I don't necessarily think the rest of it shouldn't have been there. I think the rest of it should not have been in that scene. I think
Yeah.
those two agents should have just like been talking about it throughout the picture.
Well, I mean, there's also, to
Yeah,
get on
that's a good idea.
that train with you as well, there's also some things that just don't pan out past just coincidental happenings. Like
Well,
her
we run
son
into this a
Barry
lot.
coming to visit her.
You notice he's got his name pretty high up there too, and he's basically got the one
Yeah.
scene in the archive footage.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
Like
kinda
I'm wondering if
oh.
more of that got cut out. Like maybe there was a whole like $1 Million Baby kind
Like
of a
a
thing with like
subplot?
her family
Yeah.
member.
Well,
Yeah,
I
you
think
know, like,
that scene just the only purpose it serves is to show that she doesn't really, she's not that close with her kids. Like her son isn't like, he's not coming to visit. He wants something out of her. And
yeah, he wants his slimy retirement community.
Yeah, it just seems like they kind of touched later on when she's watching a recording of them talking about what a successful entrepreneur he is. So it's like, okay, well then something had to have gone wrong there. She just had contempt for him since day one. But even then, it's like you already proven beyond a shadow of a doubt with how she treats everyone that she's a cantankerous old whore.
And she's going to learn the true meaning of Christmas.
Yes, exactly, like they all do. And the music has to get our asses pulled there.
She needs
the music, which literally sounds like...
Maybe the guy won like a contest they had, and it's like, here you go, you get to film one scene with Shirley MacLaine. It's like, okay, I'm here. Bye.
Well, I think it's just to like show that that Nick Cage's character Dougie is like more of a son to her.
Yeah.
And he's the only one like willing to well, the only guy, I guess, willing to look past her bullshit.
You know, you're right. We really should have watched Step Brothers instead.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Don't touch my drum set.
Stay golden, pony boy.
So,
I was just thinking
awesome.
of Cage and Step Brothers.
That would have been awesome if it ended like the helicopter landing back and going the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah, for some reason, like I keep thinking about the movie the last couple days, like it keeps coming up.
Well, you know, Cage just crossed that many parsecs to give her his seed. You know,
He did, yeah. He did.
so I'd like to point out that this is a very white movie.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's an extremely white movie. In fact,
there's one Asian dude and one black dude.
Right. The Asian dude who gets lines like, "Oh, Mr. Doug, you back? Yeah. Hi, I'll go back to stove."
So horrible.
And then there's Special Agent Barack Obama, who we actually see far less than the other agents. Although he does get to speak that one time where he talks about how he smells the rat with the whole, because when Mrs. Carlisle, spoiler, gets
what
kidnapped,
I don't understand is
they think it's an Arab conspiracy. It's like, anybody else think that was weird, America, about that plastic syringe, like it was planted, maybe. You know. And I don't know, maybe fun, highways or something. You know, we kind of drive on those. Just saying, America.
Yeah, I still love that very much, that after they find out she's been kidnapped and Cage just happens to shoot a man's toe off to get the information where she is, the driver keeps saying, she's okay, she's being well taken care of. Buried
my sister.
8 feet under fucking ground.
They got a barn and an air pipe. She's in a fucking coffin.
Yeah.
And they're like, she's alive down there? And the guy's like, yeah, pretty sure. Hey, I didn't kill her outright. If she died, because of my neglect, well, that's between her and God,
Maybe it's kind of like a Spinal Tap thing where they gave them dimensions for the box and they're just like, fuck it. They meant inches, not feet.
It was supposed to be the 4-room Venetian suite at the retirement community down there, but something went wrong.
Yeah, she's inside a little model. That's all it is. Oh, Lord.
With a tea set,
Yeah. Which, again, Nick Cage's tea service sucks.
Well, maybe she preferred to be Kiefer Sutherland there. I don't know.
That would have been amazing to have
Designated survivor.
I was thinking The Vanishing, but whatever.
I was thinking 24.
Oh, the Kiefer Sutherland Vanishing, though.
Yeah.
We'll save that for our Kiefer
remind
cast.
me of that movie? I need to find my dead wife.
Where's my family? Where's my family?
You're gonna have to go through exactly what she did.
Except, unlike in the original, you're gonna survive and it's gonna be lame.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, I did enjoy the cageness. That, yes, as you said, she did match some of his cagey outbursts. But I really wish he had gone a little bit more with his trying to become McCoy in Star Trek, where he's like, I'm not a golfer, I'm an agent. It's like he should have said, damn it, Tess, I'm like, not a golfer, I'm an agent.
I'm not a
It should just
caddy.
came up much more, especially when they fucking neglect to go and tend to her because they all have huge hard-ons and start beating off while all the agents are watching a fucking, what was it, a possible shooting happen.
Yeah. They used news footage of a thing where Bush got pulled out of making a speech because there was a protest in like Venezuela or some shit. You know?
Yeah, and then Cage gets a shout out. It's like, we want to be down there.
Yeah! Secret Service agent in the shit! Yeah!
Waiters!
Down there where the bullets fly.
So
I still
this
hold
movie's,
that he's the only obvious choice to play Ariel in The Little Mermaid.
He really could. He could pull it off, but
Well,
no.
being that this is
Maybe
about
have
Secret Service agents, this is automatically a sequel to Live and Die in L.A.
Yeah.
If you want bread, go fuck a baker!
I felt it was another movie that would have been quickly resolved by just having a cell phone.
Yeah.
Well, no, I actually thought of that, but I thought, like, nah, they're in bumfuck New England or wherever the shit, or Ohio. There's probably no cell sites out there.
Yeah, which did make me laugh hysterically when she's talking about they came out here to see us little country rats. It's like, you live in a fucking mansion and you're acting like you poor?
No, she's y'all.
Y'all.
Country out here, see,
She
stranger?
was
Yeah.
roughing it with a little
So,
picnic.
I was really pissed off by the whole segment where they go to the grocery store.
That could have been really
for the
fun,
peas?
but yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what the... Okay, so, like, they're like, oh, she's been, like, cowering in her room for 5 years, you know, and she never goes to the kitchen. Why the fuck is she doing the grocery shopping?
Those are on sale for
know.
2 for 59
And the manager's all like, does she want to be known today or not? Don't know her. It's like, so she comes in there all the time?
Yeah,
She doesn't go to the kitchen or leave her room except for when she jumps out the window into the limo
Well,
and drive
I mean,
to the grocery store.
Well, when she was in bed after taking her Xanax, there was like 8 magazines where she was still on the cover of, or she just pulled them out of her old memory bin.
Well, I think
That's right. She has to
like-
get sighted places so the tabloids could photograph her.
Well, and that
Sure.
kind of creates a problem because I'm glad that you brought it up because I think like what they were trying to establish was that she was like a shut-in and she's at that point she's getting older. She was a has-been. Like there's no love for her anymore. And she loves being in the limelight, loves being glamorous, but then, and they make a big deal out of it when she wants to go golfing because it's like, oh, well, you're a shut-in, so it's good that you want to get out of the house. But then you have that scene which kind of just undoes it.
Well, yeah, and at the same time, they weren't exactly happy about the golfing because it was freaking 36 degrees outside, too. But, I mean, also at the same time, it's like, maybe you can answer this for me, because I kind of think Cage did this on purpose to her. But when they went to the opera, which they made a big deal out of, and then she falls asleep, and everyone's acting like, oh my god, look, it's the former First Lady, and she's falling asleep. And Cage looks like he's not sure if he's going to either just fuck with her to let people look at her and see how she is, or actually try to preserve her dignity.
Or
But
show
he
them
ends
all her
up
panties.
waking her up and shoving her with his
And she's
chair, I
never
guess.
been so embarrassed.
Ever, and she's
And
never
he's
going
never
there
been
in
so
that town
hard.
again.
I'm just doing it by the book, okay?
By the book. No, there was another scene that it was like a real what the fuck where he's drinking a Budweiser out of a highball glass. What the fuck?
It's class.
Well,
People
see,
drink shots
he
of whiskey
doesn't,
out of champagne flutes.
He doesn't go and listen to your highfalutin opera, okay?
Yeah.
He
He'd rather
watches
watch Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed, and he listens to Shout, Come On Now, Shout, Hey.
Jesus Christ.
Please don't
See?
sue us now.
He's
Please
a
don't sue us now.
regular feller,
Disgust me.
just like Marky Mark in Renaissance Man. Yeah, he's just a regular feller. who wants to be a badass Secret Service agent, and he's being saddled with this high-class old lady. Opera, ballet, whatever. I want to shoot guns.
He's just a
bringing in the
simple surfer
classics
that
of
works at the
Renaissance
FBI.
Shooting Austin Pendleton's toe off.
You shot my toe.
Austin Pendleton did get the best line there, though. It's like, he didn't even count.
Yes. I watched it with our cousin Jenny, and that was her favorite moment too.
Yeah.
He didn't count.
That's the part of the movie that I'd seen previously. Oh, yeah.
But then, of course, there are echoes with
chick from Touched by an Angel needs to get beat up by trash can lids more.
They find that the driver who helped kidnap Shirley MacLaine has these crescent-shaped burns in the back of his neck, which turn out to be made from the cigarette
the car
lighter.
Cigarette lighter.
Right.
Yeah, she was fighting him off, and I couldn't help but think, like, how did it get burned?
I don't
know. Cars used to come with cigarette lighters.
Please, Agent Dougie. Mrs. Summers Isle says I can't tell you.
Please,
Yeah, you know
Agent
those
Dougie
car
Fresh.
chargers?
Look, they've already cut things off of me, so the toes aren't really going to matter that much. They made me do it.
They took my thumbs, Charlie.
Charlie. The dick, the balls, the dick. Oh yeah. And then there's the part where they think the president's going to come, but instead they send the foreign secretary or whatever.
Yeah, he was edging the whole time.
And they're like, "Oh, Maria Conchita Alonso, we are so proud to have you here."
Her name was
And I'm
Kiki.
thinking, like, was that not like 1990s humor? Was that something
Yeah,
they
was.
thought it was
I
okay to
think
laugh
so.
at? You know, like,
Like,
I
you
think
white
so.
people get it because you're the only ones that came here, just like me and my sister when we saw this movie with our parents.
white people.
Oh, see, there's your more diverse ethnic cast. There was a Hispanic lady named Kiki
Yeah, who doesn't have any lines?
who doesn't have any lines.
And you get Asian Cook in the background. He's never even quite in focus. And Barack Obama, who's always in the background.
Wah, wah.
Yeah. and then there's that montage where they're getting ready for the president's visit, and they're test firing their machine guns, and it's supposed to give us a giggle because Shirley MacLaine said machine guns earlier.
Yes, like, ha ha, she says they're violent.
Oh, you
doesn't
know
need 'em
what?
until she
Kate,
needs 'em.
grandson, I'm so glad you made that movie, where Shirley MacLaine's your girlfriend, she's a little bit young, but that's okay. It was just so sweet. The part where you dig her up and just cradle her in your arms,
When you dig her out from her grave and she's still alive.
Oh, it was just like Snow White, it just gave me a flutter in the heart, and that might have been my condition.
That necrophilia scene.
She's a little haggard down there, but I like it when they get their hair all messed up and the bodices ripped,
Well, he does order soap and blankets so he could clean her up before he bangs her.
Before he gets to business.
I'm going to have to tidy you up because you're a sopping cunt. Have you
So
no
at least
shame,
he has
woman?
some standards, right?
I got a joke.
Get in
for you,
that
Tess.
wheelchair.
What's the downside to eating vegetables?
God damn it.
You think I'm going to be your servant then? Why don't you go to the store and buy your own fucking can of peas? You disgust me.
22nd
We've lost
and
interest in
final
the peas.
episode.
Well,
So please
No,
follow, listen,
our
rate,
final
and review.
episode was the Never on See You Next Tuesday.
Well, I was going to say that since you watched this with Jenny, Lucille watched it as well, and the only wisdom I think she came up with in this is basically that she's rude, he's rude, and they deserve each other. And that kind of comes through at the end.
Yeah, it was one of the first movies to have the after credits scene, which is that infamous anal scene Donnie keeps mentioning.
Yeah, the intimate, infamous butt fucking.
And
You
I
said
am
if
here
I liked it,
for
I should put a ring on it, so I did.
It's officially designated the peach ring scene. Thank you.
I could eat grandma's peaches for hours.
Oh my!
And then Cage says to Shirley MacLaine, "I want you to cut your fingernails on your left hand."
And that's when the pegging scene began.
I want you to get a pig.
Oh, poor Cage.
Did I say you could talk?
Oh, something I really do want to go back to because maybe did or didn't notice it when they were golfing and Cage took off in the golf cart that I think Uncle was driving. Mm-hmm. Were those linear notes on the steering wheel? Because there was somebody notes taped onto the steering wheel, and I didn't know if it was that or just like script notes.
Do you think they originally had another angle going, and then at some point somebody's like, "Oh wait, let's actually use the golf cart."
Hey, we've
Kind of
got
like
this.
in the third Indiana Jones movie where he runs up to the top of the library and we see that he's now standing in front of a fake bookshelf.
Yes, except it was going to be a golf ball sex scene where she's like, "Go and get my golf ball," and he goes cussing out in the woods looking for it, and then she like pops one out of her cooch, and she's like, "Here, I meant this one."
Why don't you reach into your bag and get me that 3-wood?
I got a nice 3-wood in there for you.
It's next to the popsicles. Why don't you reach in and get it?
God damn it.
Where's my secret service agent? Gonna bring you some good news.
Face-offs, yeah.
There's so many possible casts here. You know, like there's the Clint Eastwood version. There's the Kevin Costner version. There's the Morgan Freeman
Harrison
version.
Ford.
Yeah, that's right.
How dare you, sir?
Damn chair.
So, what do you think?
Linda?
Guarding Tess, everybody.
So,
Yes.
Donnie, what did you think?
I'm asking you for your damn face
Damn
off.
it.
Well,
You can't replace Shirley MacLaine, and in this case, I would, since they're both incarnations of the same person, I would like to just see the roles reversed.
That would be interesting.
I'm thinking
What am I doing?
Val Kilmer and Ellen Burstyn might have been fine, actually.
Oh.
Betty Davis could have done some fun
I
stuff.
fucking
but
love Betty Davis, and had she
I
not
still
died
think,
about
yes.
10 years prior, she would have nailed it.
One of the things I think you would have enjoyed because it would have outdone Cageness and could have had a little bit more wackiness and tied in with the rest of Police Academy was Gutenberg next to
the Goots.
Miss Tess.
Hell yeah.
No, that's
No, but
right.
him
We're
and
on
way
the
too sexy.
we're really on the main line of Goods Connection. on
Yeah,
this
it's
one.
like then you could put Cage in full-on old man makeup and mustache makeup as the "you disgust me" CIA agent.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, but the problem is if you put the Goots in it, then it just gets way too sexy and people know that they're banging.
It would have meant that the pegging and the anal sex scene would have paid off at the end.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Yeah. Like, tell me, Tess, which one's your bush and which one's my hair?
Now you're getting over into my Lorenzo Lamas and Charlotte Rampling cut of the movie.
Fuck it. Okay, forget Steve Gutenberg. Lou Diamond Phillips.
Hell yeah!
This would have been amazing.
Oh man, it would be like the first Power, only more so. It'd be like the second Power.
Just bring in the entire cast from Young Guns.
Yeah, all the Young
as
Guns
her
in there,
entire
yeah.
Secret Service
Bon Jovi
attachment.
soundtrack, yeah.
Yeah.
I never drew first, but I drew first blood. I'm a devil's son. Call me young gun.
Goodbye, Miss Tess.
Why'd you come back here, you old cowpoke? I'm gonna make you famous.
Jesus
God damn it.
You old cider press, you.
Were you guys able to find any sort of cagey wisdom?
Well, yeah, never make decisions while you're upset. You know, if you're going to send a hit squad down to South America to take out the people who killed your friends on a yacht, just make sure that you have a greater level of plausible deniability and pin the whole thing on your vice president.
Yeah, make sure to send out Willem Dafoe and some special forces guerrillas to do your work for you and make deals with drug lords to kind of help you out.
And make sure, if you're not going to actually do an extraction for them, make sure they actually die and don't bring in Jack Ryan.
Yeah, but do remember the most biggest and greatest part of that wisdom, which is that money is just out there and it's technically our money. So we should get it.
That's right. It's our money. And batting cages are really fun. Put one in your wine cellar.
What is happening?
So Linda, Guarding Tess came out in 1994, the same year as Claire in Present Danger.
Yeah.
That's why this entire atrocity of an episode happened.
Yeah, it's the same love story, just
it really
without Shirley MacLaine.
See, in that one, Jack Ryan's wife is recast as Barack Obama.
Maybe even Bruce Willis and Shirley MacLaine would have been fun.
Yeah. Oh, one of those Willis comedies. Yeah, I could
yeah, he could still play John McClane.
Yeah.
And then you could have had and then you could have had the orderly who was pushing her, trying to get her in a wheelchair, just suddenly at the end come out with "I shot a kid." Just roll credits.
Well, that just came completely out of left field, Mr. Hospital Man. We had a ray gun to look real enough. Come on now. So just anybody kid out there with a Nerf gun, you just shoot him? Yes, ma'am.
He gave the best wisdom, which is that hospital regulations aren't exactly,
they're not sacred, but get in the fucking chair.
They're not sacred, and just get in the goddamn chair.
Get in the goddamn chair.
There's the goddamn chair!
Life lesson number 432. Get in the goddamn chair.
Maybe that should be our Cage's kiss off from now on.
Just start off every episode with that. Just
we'll see you next week.
Chair.
Get in the goddamn chair.
All up in that
listen,
chair.
Follow, rate, and review Cage's Kiss on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Podcoin, and YouTube. If you don't have a Podcoin account and you want to get one, be sure to use the code Cage's Kiss, CAGESKISS, no space, to get extra points for you and for us.
CAGEFIST.
For you and for your loved ones.
Remember, you can find Cage's Kiss on Facebook and on Twitter at Cage's Kiss. You can visit our website at cageskiss.com.
And stop neglecting our YouTube, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn it. And you can also write to us. You can write, yeah, damn fool kids. Back in my day. we were thankful for our YouTube.
We got in the chair and it was a rocking chair, see? We put it on the porch like so with a shotgun across our knees, and then we'd mutter things about our lawn.
I don't know about your YouTube, but you visit my tube.
My Mitchell will be famous just like the guys on the TV tube.
Fuck you. my Mitchell.
Remember, you can write to us at cageskiss@gmail.com. If you want to give us any feedback,
might even become a female.
If you want to give Adrian any email, any feedback.
I shot a kid.
There's our kiss off. Tony, do you have any plugs, for fuck's sake?
I actually am the boy who blew on Pornhub now.
My God!
And you can find me as Unreal Goals on Twitter.
I'm Adrian. I too shot a kid, and you can find out all about that on my DeviantArt, all lowercase and run together. That's Leo the Fox on DeviantArt. You can just Google that shit up, and it